I couldn't for $5 billion tell you the difference between Pink Floyd, Metallica, and I almost said ADHD. What's the other one? What's it fucking called? AC/DC.
That's my cold open.
This was Justin with Broken News. I'm Josh.
And I'm Charles.
And we're here to talk about the news that happened before, hence it's broken.
It's not new, and it hopefully is kind of funny. Do you have anywhere you want to start?
I want to talk about the death penalty.
Okay, yeah, you want to just go right into it. Let's do a fun one first.
Yeah, I really want to lead off on a really, really fun one. So Virginia is attempting to abolish the death penalty. I believe that Ralph Northam has, recently, either today or yesterday, signed that it would be abolished. So this is the newest news that we will be discussing.
Neat.
And I just think this is a really big step, because this is, the first southern state to pass this. And to me, I am very against the death penalty, because I
have a soul.
Yeah, I don't think we should murder people. And also it's disproportionately black people that are murdered. And I heard a really interesting equivalency. The fact that Germany doesn't have the death penalty. And someone said, imagine if Germany did have the death penalty, and it was disproportionately Jewish people that they sentenced to death. We would all lose our goddamn minds.
Yeah, we would all fucking go berserk.
But a country that was founded on brutalizing African Americans disproportionately murders African Americans today.
Yeah.
And it's just, but racism's gone. We did it. We solved it in the 60s.
Barack Obama, individually, ended the last remnants of racism. That's correct.
Yeah, he personally killed the last racist.
Bruce Springsteen, if you're listening, stop doing that fucking podcast with that dick. Come on, man. You were 0 for 3 this last month. You have got to stop it. You get framed by the police for a crime you did not commit, and what do? You go, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start a podcast with Obama. No, get a cab, man.
It's really fucking funny to watch most of the people that were little bitty babies when Obama was elected, watching them go from either I don't like Obama because their parents were conservative to oh no, Obama's pretty cool to fuck, I don't really like Obama. yeah,
it's a weird barrier we've crossed.
Yeah, the nation's become much, much more progressive and also more conservative. So
yes.
it's fun. Yeah.
It's a nightmare. This isn't about the death penalty. Keep on by the death penalty. Let's keep on track a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we'll do a little bit better on this one. This, I think, is really good news. Just because I think the death penalty in general is a terrible policy that the United States, for some reason, has kept. And as much as I'm hoping for a federal law to be passed getting rid of the death penalty, I think it's probably going to be state by state for a couple more years, gay marriage was, until eventually a Supreme Court justice is like, wait a fucking second.
It's one of those things where, it's one of those, I don't generally understand the appeal of Republican things. I get in theory why people are into the death penalty. And, if it was something that 100% of the time was only ever done for the right reasons when we got the right guy, it would be less of a hill that I think I die on. But it's not, because the American justice system might as well just be a big warm trash can. It's terrible, and therefore maybe we shouldn't kill people after they make a decision. It's bad enough we put people in jail for their entire lives, and fuck that up sometimes. But you've killed a man now. You can't reverse it. You can't be like, we're so sorry, please go continue with your life. No, he's passed away.
If you goof that up, you just murdered a dude.
Yeah, you should now have the death penalty.
Because we're for sure you did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the conservative takes are really funny.
Are they really? Of course they are. Conservative takes are either just bone-chilling or the funniest thing you've ever seen.
So Ralph Northam, there was a misquoted thing where they were like, Ralph Northam said you could abort a baby up until it comes out of the womb. So now people are like, oh, so you can murder a baby when it comes out of the womb, but a criminal doesn't get murdered? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian.
This does tie into, I think, I had to have the argument about why do prisoners get the COVID vaccine before, like, the average Joe? Yeah. It's because they live in close quarters and shit conditions. And if one of them gets it, they're all going to get it. And these people, we did not give them the death penalty, so we can't just go, oh, well, he was, I guess he sold a crack, so now he's going to die from a preventable disease. Like, no. We didn't give these people the death penalty. They're just in jail, and it doesn't mean we don't have any sympathy for them when they die of something we could have prevented. Like, they're in close quarters and they can't not be. You can't fucking socially distance in prison. They're not gonna cut the prison population in half. They can't just have half of them prison from home. Like, they've gotta be there.
They could, but they're fucking cowards.
They should. They should send at least half of they should send everybody in prison home. Prison's bad, but,
And, just a couple facts, like, if you're on the fence about the death penalty, I was for a long time.
It's understandable. It sounds good in theory, like I said.
We're just gonna remove the, like, emotional plea of, like, we're killing people. It's more expensive than housing people for life. And it is getting harder and harder to get the drugs needed to kill someone. The way we kill people is fucking brutal.
It's worse than when we just used to fucking shock people to death. I don't know if is that true? It's
worse than when we used to shoot people. Like, it's fucking out, because they give you a sedative that doesn't, like, take away pain. It just means you can't move anymore.
It's so you can't fight back. It's not to help you.
Yeah, and then they put in this thing that, like, it makes you stop breathing, and I'm pretty sure you suffocate to death. It's very brutal, and it's not cool. And then when you add in the, like, racism factor and the fact that I think it's like 25% of people that were killed, like, actually were innocent, and
it's any percentage of people if it's 2, that means 2 in every 100 people that the government decided to murder because they could shouldn't have died. And if that isn't enough for you, I don't know.
If the government killed a person...
Yeah.
And it has killed more than a person.
Yeah. It's super fun.
This is one of the, like, bare minimum needs that needs to happen in order for, like, just real reform to happen in our, like, criminal justice system. And I think this is good news. Virginia was a fake Republican state for a long time, and I kind of feel like this is one of the, like, nails in the coffin of this ever being a Republican state again. Also, the people that are running for governor on the Republican side are buck wild. We are probably going to have an episode where I discuss the different people on the primary, because there are some, I think, like, 2 or 3 candidates I'd be pretty happy if they won. One where I'd be really disappointed, but I'm getting ready to convince myself to vote for.
The Joe Biden effect?
The Joe Biden effect.
Yeah.
But there's a thing that happens when a state is very much one-partied, and it's the other party gets more radical. And this can be seen with the, like, West Virginia. A lot of West Virginia Democrats are fucking awesome.
Like, yeah, they kick ass, because
they are awesome.
They think that's the only way to get across to people who are, like, way... You can get to Republicans... This is gonna sound like I sound like a fucking liberal. You can get to Republicans sometimes by going way left, in that you're also like, I hate this system too. I know this is fucked up too. These things that Democrats have done to you have been fucked up, and I see that. It's just the way you're going about it isn't gonna fix it either.
It's the, like, when me and my dad bond on our hatred of Joe Biden.
Correct. It's totally that, yeah.
But there's also an aspect of, like...
I have so much faith in West Virginia, though, man.
I believe in them.
Just because it's, like... It's such a union state. You know what I mean? Like, I think West Virginia, and I'm like, them coal miners are the reason we have weekends off. They can do this. They can come back around.
If those workers unite, and we can just convince them...
Yeah.
It would be really good. But the Virginia GOP has also contributed. Like, it has gone way right.
Yeah.
My dad is a lifelong Republican who has not voted for a Republican as president for the past 8 years.
God bless your dad.
God love him. He still claims to be one. And every time a state race, like for senator or for governor, shows up, my dad will be like, "They picked that guy?
Because
He's
they pick
crazy."
a loon.
Like the last guy, like Ed Gillespie, was like
Gillespie?
Gillespie. Yep,
Nope, Gillespie.
Yeah, that one. Was super pro Southern, like flag and like the Confederacy, because that's the only way you're gonna win the primary. And the Virginia GOP is just going crazier and crazier. Like, I literally saw people that are gonna try to run for fucking governor of our state that they want to get rid of gay marriage.
Yeah, that'll be a cute one.
They're not winning.
No.
Like, you're not winning in Virginia with that policy.
I'm gay and I can vote, King.
Yeah, fucking look at Fairfax. You gotta win Fairfax if you want to win.
Yeah. It's just Nova's such a condensed mass of liberals that it is fun. Like every year, every time there's an election, I like check out Harrisonburg, and it's always so close because like students aren't really registered to vote here. I don't think students are registered to vote back home, but between like grad students who have been here forever and professors versus like townies,
yeah,
but like also there's a hella immigrant population in Harrisonburg because, like, I think it was a sanctuary city for a while. I think it might still be. I don't know, like, exactly what's happening. But it's always just so right there on the line between it. And I just hope I can watch, like, Blue Harrisonburg happen before I totally get out of here. I think that would be neat.
I think, like, with how Virginia has been moving, I don't think it's out of the possibility for these areas that were deep red, like Warrington, Gainesville, like, a lot of them
Gainesville's
have turned...
red?
It was. For a long time.
Because all I know about Gainesville is that's where I go with a nice Target.
Yeah, now it's, I think, very blue.
Yeah.
I think it's lighter blue than we are, though.
Probably.
But, like, I think we're going to see a lot of that because the suburbs are spreading further south. And a lot
Which
of them are...
Which is a problem in and of itself, by the way, but,
Yeah, but, like, a lot of them are like, the suburbs are no longer, like, solely white communities.
Yeah, I don't mean that in, like, the white people. It's just, like, again, as someone who lives in Harrisonburg, you see a lot of, let's just keep expanding this big thing into places where people already are, and it's fucked. Harrisonburg's a weird place. Harrisonburg, I think, has politicized me and, like, radicalized me more than anything else in my life. Is like, just living here and being like, I can't fucking stand what this school does to the surrounding communities. It just brings in all these shit kids who don't care and fuck everything up. And the school is so separate from the community down here, it, like, drives me batshit. And I'm grateful to my major for, like, kind of and all the classes I've had where I've had to produce something, they're like, go out and, like, do something with people who live here, like, who are at the school kind of thing.
Yeah.
Everyone should have to do that here. Not just me, because I happen to pick a major where I go, like, make documentaries sometimes. Like, everyone should have to go out and interact with the people who have lived here before the school, like, not before the school here, so the school's been here forever, but, like, before it was what it was, and get a taste for what it's supposed to be like out here. Because then you realize it's not all just, like, weird bumpkin meth heads. Like, there's people out here.
It's the, like, anti-George Mason, where the school is, like, the community, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, there's not a real difference between the people that live on George Mason and the people that live in Fairfax, because a lot of them are the same
Fairfax
people.
is so big and its own thing without the school.
Yeah. They don't rely on the school for, like, their entire economy.
Yes, that's just why I think, this is a different point, JMU intentionally fucked us all over with having to come back because of COVID, because they were like, I think all of these apartment complexes are going to fucking lose their minds if no one pulls out a rent check for next semester.
I feel like we could have a pretty fun conspiracy theory day with that.
I'm going to complain about JMU a little bit later, though. I have other things to... Not even JMU, but, like, JMU, I guess, especially because I'm there, but college sports I have to get into later.
Is this when we go to pitching and moaning?
Do you want to start sports now? Do you want me to complain about JMU right now?
Let's hit pitching and moaning. Let's go for it.
Alright, so...
Sports talk!
Sports. I have to talk about college sports, and I'm going to start with just talking about JMU right now. James Madison University is, I would say, a football school. And I had to do a little bit of research about this because I never quite totally understood it. We're a Division I school in a shitty conference, though. So, like, the Division I football... And we play FBS, which is... No, I'm sorry. We don't play FBS. We play the other one. FBS is bowl games, so like Alabama goes on to play a bowl game at the end of the year.
Okay.
We are in the division that doesn't do that. I don't remember what the abbreviation is, but it's like a subset of Division 1 football where we are technically Division 1, but we are at the lower level of Division 1 football.
You guys are like the Browns.
Yeah, that's correct. Technically the NFL, but like not really.
Yeah, it's still a professional, but like...
So we are Division 1, like second tier, basically.
Okay.
And JMU's whole thing, as long as I've been here, because I believe we won the whole thing either my freshman year or the year before I got here. I don't pay a ton of attention to football here, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. But JMU football is very, very good for the division we play in. And you can see that in the fact that if you Google how much JMU won its last game by, we won 52-0. And we play again this weekend, and we're expected, because of the way the season's set up, we play only, like, teams in our division. But the first two games are out of our, like, conference, but they're really shitty, easy teams. No offense to Robert Morris or Morehead State, I'm sorry, but, like, you know you're coming here to get your asses handed, and, like, I feel bad, too.
Morehead State.
Morehead State and Robert Morris. Have you even heard of those schools before?
I love Morehead. It was my goal through high school.
Oh, God. And then we play we play William & Mary, we play Elon, we play Richmond, and, like, they're teams that were very obviously just... Statistically, we should knock all of these teams out of the water by, like, minimum 30 points. And that's, that's neat. But these are very easy win games. And my point with all this is saying, we want to move up a division. JMU has wanted to move up to the next thing for as long as I've been here. Yeah. We had signs in my freshman dorm that said, we want Bama, when I moved in. Like,
no, you don't.
We don't want Bama, but we want to move up a division, because I think it truly isn't competitive for us here anymore, for the large majority. Like, when we get on to, like, not state championship, whatever the championship thing is, we play North Dakota State, we win sometimes, North Dakota State wins sometimes, we should both probably start playing other teams. And this year's different, because all the sports are in the spring right now. Mm-hmm. And JMU is a football school. And JMU football has always said, move this fucking school up a division so we can play some competitive teams. And the reason the school hasn't wanted to do this for so long, so I've been told, so I've heard speculated, this is where it stops being official things that I know, is because basketball has been very bad here, historically. So they moved the school up, and the football team is now playing competitively, and it's much more interesting, and it brings in more money, because we're in the big boy division now. But the basketball team gets its ass handed to it every single game. So it's like, once the basketball team starts getting good, we will then move up.
Okay.
The basketball team kicks ass this year now. Ooh. Basketball's good for the first time since, I think, like 1993, 1992. It's been forever. And I feel so bad for the men's basketball team right now, because this should be their year. And I'm going to start talking about COVID now. I'm not going to really comment on whether or not we should be playing sports during COVID. That's not the point of this argument I'm going to make. My answer to that is probably not, but if Disney World's going to be open, I'm not going to tell all these senior athletes they can't have their last season. Like, probably no, but I'm not going to be the one to tell them that. Basketball should be just the center of everyone's attention, and everyone should be going apeshit for basketball here, because, like, they're playing close games, and they're playing fun games, and they're good, but I think they're, like, 8-2, so it's not like we're undefeated, we're just a good, competitive team, and they're finally doing what they need to do to push the school in the next division, and everyone's like, football this weekend, we're gonna play Elon and just shit down their throats, and that's all anyone's talking about still, and I feel so bad for the basketball team, is my point, and I feel like this has to be a larger issue, because schools that have football and basketball, which is all of them, football gets its season, and then basketball gets its season, and then baseball gets its season, and then we all go home. Yeah. But now all of these seasons are on top of each other. Every single sports season has started here. We have every single sport happening right now. God bless my advisor for the sports shit I have to do here. I've never seen a busier human being. Because it's just every single sport is happening, and basketball doesn't get their moment in the sun because we have to, for whatever reason, I don't know why we're talking about football, to be frank with you, because it's not competitive, and I get it's fun to watch your team win 60-0.
Yeah.
But is it? Like, is it entertaining for you to watch
Every
us go
year,
out?
is it fun?
It's ridiculous, and like our schedule is especially because usually football is like that with most games, but then we play a couple like out of conference teams and it's competitive. We're not playing out of conference teams because of COVID, and we don't want to start playing with everybody in the fucking world, and it's already a shortened season. And I wish we would pay more attention to basketball during basketball season. It's no one's fault. It just made me so upset when I was sitting there like looking at the stuff, and I'm like filling out football charts in February, and I'm like, it should be basketball time. It should be when we care about them, and the fact that they finally have like put in the work and are really good, and they can't enjoy that because football's in the way. It hurts me.
That's really sad. Like, I don't even care, and I'm bummed for them.
Exactly, because like my first thought was like, man, I wish there was any volleyball news on my Twitter feed, because like I cover volleyball more than anything else here.
I wonder why.
Yeah, well, that's a. And, like, this was taking, like, you can take the sexism out of this, because, like, that's obviously part of this, too, but this is, like, I'm talking about men's basketball, because women's basketball is also good, but women's basketball is usually, like, at the very least competitive.
Yeah.
It should be basketball season. I should be just immersed in basketball news. And I don't have a solution, and I don't think that, like, the answer to this is, like, fuck the football guys. Like, no, they also, like, should get their senior season. It just sucks. We should wear our masks, maybe.
Yeah, maybe everyone just wear your masks so these kids can, like, enjoy themselves.
Yeah, all these JMU basketball guys who finally, these seniors on this team who finally have a competitive team, have a good team that, like, might go play March Madness games. Maybe. I hope I didn't just jinx the fuck out of that.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking just lose all our games from now on out. But, yeah. School sports are a mess right now, and it makes me sad.
This is hilarious coming from a guy who goes to a school whose biggest accomplishment is we made it to the Final Four that one year.
Yeah, good old George Mason.
And they bring that up all the goddamn time.
They sure do. I still have the 7-Eleven souvenir cup somewhere.
Like, fucking orientation was just them bringing that up every 5 to 10 minutes, and then them telling me to have safe sex about 4 times.
I love college orientation. Okay, what's next on my list? That's the end of my point is, maybe if you're like, I'm not going to put this on anybody, just let the basketball guys have their time. Cover them too. Cover everybody maybe. Maybe cover women's sports too. I know that's kind of a different problem, but...
And your nose.
And your nose with your mask. That's correct. Alright.
Those are the things we need covered. Now let's get into the juicy story. What was
You want to talk about Trevor Bauer?
Yes, or as I know him.
How do you know him?
The anti-Tim Anderson.
Oh my god, what did I say I was gonna call? I texted you. I was gonna introduce him to something, and now I don't remember what I said.
Self-proclaimed Mickey Mouse Cy Young winner?
The anti-Tim Anderson and self-proclaimed Mickey Mouse Cy Young winner Trevor Bauer had things to say on Twitter this past week.
It was a rough
I have
Twitter
the
week
screenshots
for him.
So what happened was the Los Angeles Dodgers have recently signed Trevor Bauer. The Dodgers, I would say more than any other team that I can really think of, have a very diverse fan base because the Dodgers are in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a diverse place. They have a lot of Hispanic followers, Hispanic and Latino followers.
And also, they're very good.
Yes, and they're an incredible team. I don't like the Dodgers much, but, like, I definitely do feel for their fan base and that they now have this guy on their team. So this Dodgers fan, I don't know who he is. He said, I'm going to quote him now, "More than half of the fan base of this team is Latino, and a lot of us are born here and are products of immigrants. He's made it very clear what he thinks of our people and ancestors. Gonna be impossible to root for this team while he's in the mound. Hashtag go Dodgers." This man tweeted this. And Trevor Bauer decided to go, whoa. You can't prove I'm racist. I'm a nice guy. I think we should treat everybody equally.
Only I can prove I'm racist on Twitter.
He said, what do you say? "And what is it that I supposedly think of your people? To be clear, I am in no way against immigration, so long as it is done legally and the interests of every person, regardless of where they are from, are valued equally, which is Republican dog whistle shit.
The fact that he fucking said your people,
Yeah.
was like, at that point it's just a whistle. Like,
yeah. Yes. The referee stepped in.
I'm racist, your people.
Oh my god, Trevor Bauer he couldn't. I actually skipped the Noah Syndergaard thing on accident. We'll come back to that. This is the second problem he got into. I think this is a bigger one. He also argued with Noah Syndergaard all weekend, and we'll do that afterwards, because I think it's funnier.
It's less serious.
This is a little bit heavy.
Also, I don't know much about Trevor Bauer other than, like, generally freaky and bad to women. Like, what has he done for any audience members that might not know?
The specifics on him are basically, there's a couple things. He once tweeted something along the lines of, "Why is Apple pushing all this liberal news on me?" Something like that. Like the Apple News thing of giving. So he complained about liberal news media, and that it's just, it's being shoved down his throat and he doesn't like it. I think he had some MAGA likes. That part I can't prove to you, but I think he did. He got into an argument with a female fan on Twitter. Basically, a female fan on Twitter, like, responded to something he said and was like, "You're a jackass."
Yeah.
And he responded to that once with something that was, like, mean back, which at that point is fine. Like, whatever. Someone called you a jackass on Twitter, you want to say you're a jackass back, that's fine. He responded to her, and she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So he kept responding to her all day long. That's when you become a freak and a weirdo.
That's when it's harassment.
Yeah, that's when, because everyone's like, it's not harassment if he attacked her. It's not the first time. It's totally not. If I go on Twitter and I say, "Josh, fuck you," and you go, "Fuck you back," that's fine. That's tit for tat, and we're equal now. It's when you don't get out of my mentions, and also, he's a famous person, so he keeps responding to her and egging on the people that like him to respond to her. So she's gotta, like, fucking private her account now because she can't get all of these weird freaks out of her mentions because you couldn't just go, "fuck you too," and be done with it. You had to keep responding to her all day long.
Or you couldn't take your millions of dollars and just fucking vibe.
And in his response to her, I don't have the screen share for this, I'm gonna have to paraphrase. Someone else, it wasn't this girl, she was like, "Why don't you fucking leave her alone, like, you're harassing her?" And I don't remember the exact setup of this, but he was basically like, I think someone said, "You're acting like a child." And he said, "I identify as a 12-year-old, so you have to respect me," or something along those lines. So it got transphobic too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I identify as a 12-year-old, and so there's that.
With transphobia and, like, conservatives, it's always, like, you're waiting, you know what I mean? It's like whenever you're listening to conspiracy theory and then, like, 45 minutes in, they're like, "And then the Jews did this." You're like, "Okay, there we go."
God damn it, we knew it was coming, but yeah. And then the final thing about him, is, to me, my favorite and least favorite Trevor Bauer facts. There was, like, I don't remember who published this. It was an old article that was about, like, kind of the way he is and was in high school. And it basically was like, all of his high school teammates were like, "This guy was a freak, and we didn't like him." And he said, Trevor Bauer directly was like, "I have this big, long, fucking dentist system for how I date women." And it was like that. It was like a dentist system, and he's like, "You can't do this, and you can't talk about me on social media, and you have to do this, and you have to do that." And I don't remember any of the specifics of it. I read it quite a little bit ago. But the dude sucks, man.
I remember this, because it was like, we get serious, we, like, end the relationship.
Yes.
And, like if no social media, because, like, private is private, even though I tweet every goddamn day all the time.
Yes. It was, like, this really weird list of, like, not, I suppose, if it was, like, just in a vacuum, just this, not outwardly misogynistic stuff, but it's, like, very weird, controlly shit about, like, if I have a girlfriend, she has to behave in a specific way that I like. Which
she needs
is
to be
gross.
Not seen nor heard.
Yeah, it's very not cool and fun. So basically, Trevor Bauer is a shithead.
We're not against, like, fucking around. Like, that's fine.
No, yeah.
But not that way. Like, you don't have your significant other sign a fucking 50 Shades of Grey contract.
Yes, yeah, like, there's definitely a world in which Trevor Bauer is funny because he's online a lot, and, like, extremely online baseball players can be funny. He's just not one of them. Like, he's not entertaining because he's a douchebag. So after Trevor Bauer decided to go fucking argue with people on Twitter about whether or not he's racist. Some people had some responses. Some guy tweeted, "At some point, you'd feel the need to tighten up or make some subtle changes when the 3 most suggested related items around you and your name are these." So if you type Trevor Bauer into Twitter search, the first 3 results for, like, autocomplete are Trevor Bauer racist, Trevor Bauer Trump, Trevor Bauer immigration. To which, I'm not sure in what order Marcus Stroman tweeted the following things, but Marcus Stroman is a pitcher for the Mets now. And the Mets thing we'll get into later, because Trevor Bauer and the Mets is a whole fucking other story. But I don't think it's super important to this. Marcus Stroman is a cool fucking guy, and we love him. And he, like, values minorities. So, when that first guy said the thing about half his fan base is Latino, and I don't want to root for this guy, Marcus Stroman, the pitcher for the Mets, responded with, "Disrespecting women and minorities should never be tolerated." Good on you, Marcus. Good take. Trevor Bauer did not like this. And when the guy tweeted the thing about, the autocomplete thing, Marcus Stroman responded to that with, "SMH, facepalm emoji."
That's so basic, too. Like, these are not, like, it's not insane.
So when Marcus Stroman says, "Disrespecting minorities and women should never be tolerated," Trevor Bauer is quick with the response, and he says, "How about we take it a step further and say disrespecting any fellow human should never be tolerated, or is that too much?" So, he all lives mattered him.
Oh, I found his tweet from, like, 2016, which is, "I'm in favor of the wall and keeping illegal immigrants out. Come to this country legally or don't come, period."
There you go. So, yes, I knew it was, like, he had more. That was just all the stuff that I, like, remembered and, like, found from a couple articles, so yeah, he's not great.
No, that's bad. That's a bad take, Bauer.
Yeah. And Trevor Bauer, when everyone was arguing about whether or not he was racist, he responded to a fan. Trevor Bauer responded to a fan with, "It's extremely unfair to call someone racist with absolutely no basis to do so on." Some Mets fan replied with a, like, funny gif, and Marcus Stroman replied to the funny gift with the thinking emoji. Which, again, like, he's not attacking you, man. But, like, whatever. So, Trevor Bauer quote tweets this thinking emoji, and says, "Instead of subtweeting me constantly, you can just come out and say you just like me. Speak up, homie. We're both men. We can handle it. Don't call him homie. Do not call him homie, you gross piece of shit."
It felt like he wanted to say boy, but you knew that was too racist.
And also, Trevor, if you're listening, that's not a subtweet, king. A subtweet is when someone talks about you, and you're not tagged. You were very much tagged.
He fucking tagged you.
He did speak up. He directly responded to your thing with an emoji. So he wasn't, like, trying to hide it from you. He wasn't trying to be slick. He directly responded to you. I hate this guy. But anyway, Marcus Stroman was unbothered. Trevor Bauer continued all day to argue with people on the internet, and Marcus Stroman just tweeted later on, "I received too much love to ever succumb to any hate. I see you all, and I wish I could respond to every single one of you. You inspire me more than you know and give me life. Let's continue to push forward and be great together."
This is what, when you are non-problematic, you go to bed at night and think, man, people love what I do.
Yeah.
Trevor Bauer goes to bed every night thinking, fuck, I should have tweeted this. Fuck.
Yeah, he does. He, like, thinks it's a good comeback at, like, 6 o'clock in the morning. He's like, fuck.
And then says it anyway.
Yeah, then he just tweets, it's like, and another thing. Yeah, so Marcus Stroman rules, and, like, just, he's a cool guy, and Trevor Bauer's not, and Trevor Bauer's definitely racist, and he sucks, and I hope the Mets just shit all over them this year. They won't, because it's the Mets and the Dodgers, unfortunately, but...
Yeah, like, I don't
and
like
Trevor
the
Bauer
Mets.
talks such a big game, like he isn't their goddamn third starter.
You're playing on a team with fucking Bueller and fucking Kershaw. Like, you're not the star, bud.
No, you're not. I know you want to be, but, like, you're not, King.
You had a good 4 games last season.
Oh my god. And, like, I tweeted something about this. Him leaning into the Mickey Mouse thing isn't funny.
Mm-mm.
Like, that's funny once, but, like, he has it in both his, like, icon and his bio. And, like, you should have just tweeted it once, and, like, it would have been like, that's a good one, Trevor. Like, way to play into the narrative. But he just can't get off it.
No, because he's funny.
He thinks he's funny. He sure does.
As another man who also thinks he's funny, and many times is not, maybe let the joke go, bud.
Just let it happen. Yeah. Because...
Don't live in it.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull up the Noah Syndergaard tweets now. The Noah Syndergaard thing's much funnier.
It's much funnier.
And Noah Syndergaard, okay. None of them have deleted their shit either, which is nice. I screenshotted all this, which is why it kind of took me a little bit to get through all of this, because I was digging through screenshots because I assumed Trevor Bauer was going to get embarrassed and delete everything. Hats off to him, I guess, for not really sticking his feet into his getting owned online. So Noah, I'm sorry, let me start from the very beginning. The New York Mets organization tweeted, "Nothing but smiles for spring training," with pictures of Noah Syndergaard and Robert Gesellman, who are buddies on the Mets, smiling, laughing, cutting up, having a good time. So this is where we need a little backstory.
I'm sorry, Noah Syndergaard got his ass so good with this first tweet, and he never recovers from it.
Noah Syndergaard's kind of a fucking menace for this.
Like, this is some real youngest child energy.
Okay, so Trevor Bauer, basically, what happened with him in the offseason is he was a free agent this year, and he knew in his head, he had basically deals ready to go with both the Mets and the Dodgers organizations. And he had not chosen which one he wanted yet, but they were both basically, Trevor, at any point you come sign this contract, you're on the team. It was very close to the end on both of these deals. So Trevor Bauer, in all of his fucking genius, was like, let's make press release stuff for both teams. Let's, do, people get signed to a team, and the team tweets, "Congratulations, Trevor Bauer," and it has a little picture of him, photoshopped into the uniform, right? He got all this stuff ready to go for both teams. And then the Mets shit got leaked. So Mets fans are going, "Oh, yeah, boy, we fucking..." Because, Trevor Bauer is statistically, as of last year, a good pitcher. So, fans who don't know that he sucks or don't care that he sucks were, I think understandably excited to, have a guy who did win the Cy Young last year. So his stats totally outside of this, and his personality. People were very excited on the New York Mets to go, "We have Trevor Bauer on this team now. We have a team with Noah Syndergaard, Marcus Stroman, Jacob deGrom, and Trevor Bauer in our rotation. Come fucking fight me."
And, the Mets have made fucking moves this offseason.
Yes.
They have been building a fucking team.
The Mets might be a team this year. Yeah.
Yeah. I know someone every year goes, "The Mets this year, they got it," and then they win 20 games in a row, and then never again for the rest of the season.
That's correct. So Mets fans got very excited about Trevor Bauer, and I think rightfully so. If you had a memory of what I said 10 minutes ago, Trevor Bauer plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers now. Because, again, he made all this shit up for both teams before he had made a decision, and when it got leaked, and he signed with the Dodgers almost, immediately afterwards, Mets fans were like, "You piece of fucking garbage troll." Because the thing is, Trevor Bauer is absolutely the kind of guy to get on Twitter and, stoke the fires and get a fan base really excited for him, just to turn around and be like, "Fuck you. I'm going somewhere else."
Yeah.
So I think some people might have thought it was intentional. Whether or not it was or isn't is beyond me, and I don't give a fuck. But, Trevor Bauer responded in a very long thread to Mets fans who were rightfully, I think, upset that he made all this shit up and was going to sign with their team. And Trevor Bauer says, blah, 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 "I'm so sorry. We were just putting together the media stuff because I didn't know where I was going. And as an apology to you guys, I'm going to, donate some money to, charities through the Mets organization, I guess, or, charities in New York." I'm not sure specifically what he said because I don't have the tweets up. I'm just kind of paraphrasing. But he said, "I will donate to charities in New York or related to the Mets as a, I'm sorry for getting you guys excited for no reason." Which I guess is nice, but the problem is Trevor Bauer and he sucks, right? So Noah Syndergaard took no prisoners. So when the Mets tweeted, as I said at the very beginning of this, the Mets tweeted a picture of Syndergaard and Gesellman, and they're all sitting there cutting up and laughing at the spring training. They're laughing, they're smiling, and Noah Syndergaard quote tweets this with, and then he said, "I'm sorry I chose another team, but I'll donate to your charity." So he just... You can go look at this tweet right now if you'd like, because I don't think I'm doing it justice by just saying it out loud.
Because it's just two dudes, crying, laughing.
Yeah, they're just laughing together, they're just being buddies. So he made it... It looks like he's telling that joke to the other guy. They're making fun of Bauer at spring training. The implication with this is the Mets are making fun of Trevor Bauer at spring training because they don't fucking like this guy. And they think it was still a shitty thing to do to get all that material ready and then not sign with the team after it comes out.
So Snowflake Trevor Bauer.
Well, I do want to say really quick, Trevor Bauer's agent, who I could write just paragraphs on why she drives me insane, because she's a woman, and like she's not the pinnacle of woke, because she's fucking representing Trevor Bauer and Yasiel Puig, two guys whose history with women and harassment are less than great. But she responds to this with, "Was this an attempt at throwing shade?" with like a thinky emoji, and that tweet has 575 replies, so you can just kind of judge that for yourself.
Yeah.
But what the hell happened?
And like I want to point out, if this wasn't Trevor Bauer, I would be loving every moment of it because like I don't like the Mets. Like they're a team I do not like because I am a Nats fan. They are a really good punching bag in our division because every year you think they're going to be amazing, and you just wait. I don't know if you ever met a Mets fan, but I've never met another fan of a sport that is more pessimistic about their chances.
It's really funny.
Because they'll be like 17 runs up, and then they're like, ninth inning comes, here we come, boys, time to lose.
And they've got to fuck it up, yeah. So, anyway, Noah Syndergaard's next tweet on his page is like, Trevor Bauer, I gotta find what Trevor Bauer responded to that directly with, because for whatever reason I can't find that. I don't know if he deleted it or what, but,
I have him muted, so it's hard to find any of his tweets.
Yeah. Trevor Bauer responds to that tweet. I found it. Here we go. Noah Syndergaard says his joke about him not signing, and Trevor Bauer responds, very sincerely, I'm sure. When mistakes are made, you try to make them right. I know you wouldn't know anything about making mistakes, though. Hope rehab is treating you well. Was good seeing you back throwing. Noah Syndergaard didn't say anything to that, because he's like, okay, whatever. Like, that should have been the end of it. But as we know Trevor Bauer likes to do, he was not finished. So Trevor Bauer tags Noah Syndergaard in a separate tweet and says, also at Noah Syndergaard, try to treat the fans better. They're what makes our game go. No place for personal insults, especially about somebody else's wife. Now, Noah Syndergaard's a funny man on the Twitter. I don't know if you've been able to figure this out, but when people, like, shit on him or the Mets or DeGrom or anybody on Instagram, he will respond with whatever he sees fit at that point. So, Trevor Bauer, in his tweet, at Noah Syndergaard, had all of these screenshots of comments, which means Trevor Bauer dug through Noah Syndergaard's Instagram comments to dig up dirt on him like a fucking loser baby.
On a different app, too, which is really funny.
Yeah, he was like, I gotta get on Instagram. I've gotta find something. Noah Syndergaard will shit on fans who are mean to him, which I think, again, I don't really love Noah Syndergaard. Good for him. So, someone on, one of the comments trashed was someone, complaining about DeGrom and whatever, and Noah Syndergaard responds with, what's your problem, dude? Be happy, bitch? Another one where he said, Noah Syndergaard had posted pictures of himself, like, throwing shirtless, and someone responded, you posted similar shirtless videos last year and your body broke down, stop with the bullshit, to which Noah Syndergaard responded, yes, because throwing shirtless is detrimental to my health. It's humid in Florida and I'm chilling, you dumbass. And someone else said something else about it, and he goes, show this to your wife, guarantee she wouldn't want me to put a shirt on, you might actually get laid because she'll be thinking of me. Is this a little misogynistic too? Yes. Yes. But at least it's funny, man.
There's a dude, I don't know anything about him, but he constantly tweets at Noah Syndergaard, will my wife get back to me?
Yeah.
And he always responds like, not looking good this year, man.
Yeah.
And shit like that. And it's so fucking funny. Like, say what you will about Noah Syndergaard, he's throwing heat.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of different in that I'm not sure he should have brought the guy's wife into it either, but these are people coming at him. These are people who were, like, attacking him, and he responded to them. Trevor Bauer does that and then can't stop, and also isn't funny.
Yeah.
Those are the two key differences. Trevor Bauer can't just say one thing and let it go, and he isn't funny.
Because I feel like if any of those people responded like, okay, that one was pretty good, like there could be some ribbing in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
there could be some, like, good-natured joke.
Yeah, because, like, that's a funny joke. Noah Syndergaard could have tweeted that. Trevor Bauer could have been like, that's a good one, man. Because it is funny. And it's not, like, a personal attack on him, either.
No! Like, he's saying, like, isn't it fun? The situation, if Trevor Bauer cannot see how this situation is inherently fucking hilarious, like, this goof 'em up is funny, then I don't know what else is funny to him.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, Mickey Mouse is really funny.
Mickey Mouse, pinnacle of comedy.
God, so Trevor Bauer does that, and Noah Syndergaard just responds with "keep digging,"
which again,
yeah,
got his
like,
ass.
Yeah, every single time Noah Syndergaard chooses to respond to him, he wins. So Trevor Bauer responds to that with "see you at the bottom." Trevor Bauer responds to that with "I know you are, but what am I?" Because he's a fucking child.
Which, like, does not make sense in the context of the conversation.
So finally Noah Syndergaard does decide, I'll make a personal comment, and then if you want to make it this serious, you bring a drone in your mixtape, it is a deal. Don't know. Trevor Bauer indeed has a mixtape. It's white rap. It's as you'd expect. And he did injure himself with a drone a couple of seasons ago. He was playing with a drone and hurt himself. Good on Noah Syndergaard, man. I'm a Bryce Harper guy. I don't like Noah Syndergaard. I'm a Nationals fan. I don't like the Mets. Good on Noah Syndergaard, man. Because unlike some people we're talking about, I can look at this and go, yeah, that's objectively funny, and I'm not a little bitch.
He got his ass. Like, I don't know, like, he could say that about, like, I feel like Noah Syndergaard will be at the roasting of Joshua Green.
Yeah.
Whenever that happens, because I just am curious. Like, dude...
He's just funny.
It's fucking funny.
It's funny. And, like, for Trevor Bauer to really brand himself as, like, the guy who's trying to make baseball fun and interesting, which he totally isn't, but, like, if you want to be the online baseball guy, and you, like, want to cut up online, and you want to kind of make that your brand, is that you're, like, fun and cool, you have to be able to take it then.
That the people that are actually making baseball fun and cool are people like Tim Anderson, Juan Soto. I feel like Manny Machado's getting there.
Yeah, Manny Machado, I think you can have, like, you know, opinions on, because he's a type of player, but, like...
He's a different player now than he used to be.
Yes, totally.
He's a totally different player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are individuals that are, like, I'm gonna have a ton of fun in the box and on the field, and I don't really give a shit what the other people think.
Yeah. I think, frankly, it's hard to be that kind of player and be a pitcher. I'll be totally honest.
It is hard. It is hard.
There's
to
a
be
level of, like, concentration and also, like, getting pissed off at yourself that comes with being a pitcher that just doesn't line up well with, like, having a good time, to be frank.
But you know who fucking really did a good job of that?
Huh.
Oh my god, what's his name? Sanchez.
Anibal Sanchez?
Yeah. Anibal Sanchez was fucking vibing every day with his goofy fucking sunglasses.
Yes.
And fucking making baby shark jokes with Para. Like,
yeah, I just think it's like, pitchers more than any other position, and I think anything I can think of, not even just baseball, take the whole thing on their shoulders. If you drop a catch, it's not on you that we lost. If you don't hit the ball, no one did. It's not on you that we lost. If you give up a big fat dinger, everyone's coming for you now. So it's hard to be that guy and be a pitcher. And it's really hard to be that guy and be a pitcher and not be funny.
Yeah. Like, if you're not gonna... just the butt hurt, like, that's what, like, will really just disappoint me with a lot of individuals that are good at the game. A lot of them get, like, super, like, fucking Justin Verlander. Like,
I don't like... We talked about me not liking Justin Verlander last week. I think he's on the fucking, like... what's the name for the thumbnail? The thumbnail.
Yeah, thumbnail. I was gonna say the clickbait.
I was like, the icon. No, he's not on the icon. I would not put Justin Verlander on my icon.
But, like, people like that, like, I just feel like they are, like, little baby snowflakes.
Yeah, listen to me, guys. You get paid $8 bajillion to throw a rock around. You're fine. Get over it. Oh my god, no one cares. No one feels bad for you. No one is sad for you. You're okay. You really are.
And I know it might be a little biased because one of my favorite players of all time is Max Scherzer. However, he has been on the record of being against pitchers getting fucking pissy when batters hit a home run.
Yeah, it's just grow up and let people have fun. And, like, if you want to be an angry pitcher, do it in the way that's fun for me, and hit someone in the shins with the baseball.
Or froth at the mouth.
Or froth in the mouth.
Yeah.
Just scream fuck so loud that I can hear it in my home in Manassas.
He's so mad on the mound.
God love him. But yeah, I mean, just it's okay to be upset. It's not okay to like be awful when you're upset. That just applies to life.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Trevor Bauer, listen to our last podcast about
Trevor Bauer,
masculinity. It'll help you
yeah,
out.
it won't.
Yeah,
He's hopeless.
but listen to it anyway.
Mm.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you're Trevor Bauer.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay, so in secondary baseball news, I think we'll talk about for a little bit shorter. We talked about something very similar to this last week. Ian Desmond has opted out of the second consecutive season. And as I said last week when we talked about Jalen Johnson, good for him. And
Good on
I'm gonna
ya.
go. It's a double good for him this year for two reasons. One, your family and loved ones are more important than the game of baseball. If this is what you feel you have to do to keep your family and your loved ones safe, I'm not going to argue with you on the internet like a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Secondly, Ian Desmond plays for the Colorado Rockies. And if I played for the Colorado Rockies, I would be so goddamn pissed off because you traded Nolan Arenado after locking him down for like 12 years, I think. His contract was for the rest of his career, and they were like, what if we just sent him to St. Louis and rebuilt? Are you fucking kidding me? And you expected him to get out there and suit up in the pandemic? No.
Rockies aren't winning for a while.
No, the Rockies took their only saving grace. They took the only thing that could have possibly made this a worthwhile season for them. And they said, you know what, let's send him to the Cardinals and just shoot ourselves in the foot. Are you kidding me? And you want this man to show up and give you his all? Why doesn't management maybe give winning their all and put some money into this? You play at Coors Field. I can hit a home run. Just sign someone. Oh my god. Are you kidding me?
If they don't do the home run derby there, because the fucking pitchers would try.
Oh my, it's just ridiculous to me that anyone would expect him to play. And everyone's like, he's, pulling them out of so much money, and Ian Desmond's contract is not astronomical, you fucking moron. He's Ian Desmond. It's not Bryce Harper. His contract is like, whatever. And like, he wasn't going to be the thing that make or breaks you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, let's be honest. That wasn't what was sinking the Rockies season this year.
No, like, I think Ian Desmond is handsome and nice and cool. And good for him.
But for some fucking reason, none of these managers are fucking building their teams around who's fucking pretty, except the Phillies.
Except the Phillies. Good on the Phillies. The Phillies have some hot boys on that team.
The Phillies said, what if we went under 500? But you know what?
Aaron Nola, whatever your glutes routine is, please drop it in the comments below.
Oh my god, they said thick bitches only, and I respect that.
It is. It's very nice for me, personally. But yeah, everyone's trying to do I almost said Marlins. Everyone is not trying to do the Marlins. Everyone's trying to do the Tampa Bay thing, where it's like, let's just cut everybody and try and win that way. I think they're missing the key point, which is that Tampa Bay didn't win the World Series. The team that put an ungodly amount of money into their roster won the World Series. I'm not sure what you're trying to do, but it's not going to work.
Well, let's just take the last, 3-4 years? Look at the teams that have won. Mm-hmm. The Dodgers, if we want to count it.
Yeah, I mean, I will for the sake of this argument, for sure.
Yeah, because it does fit my argument well. The Nationals, the Astros, the Red Sox.
Yeah, the Red Sox, that team was fucking expensive that year. And then you know what the Red Sox did? The Red Sox said, let's get rid of everybody on this team who's worth a shit. And the Red Sox really upset me. This is kind of off topic now, because the Red Sox are not the Padres. The Red Sox are not the Rays. The Red Sox are a team that's going to have a fan base no matter what they do, and I think they totally take advantage of that.
If you want to feel sad every day, just follow a Red Sox fan on Twitter. Because, it's really depressing, and I'm not a big Red Sox fan, because, fuck Boston, but, I feel bad every time, because they'll be like, yeah, we traded away a once-in-a-lifetime player for $4.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the nickels were kind of shiny.
It's ridiculous, and, you know what happens to teams that don't have really loyal fan bases? You become the Orioles. You know what happened to half of Orioles fans? They're Nationals fans now. They're fucking Nationals fans now, because the Orioles are just so bad that they're like, I can't possibly be this invested in Orioles baseball. The Red Sox don't have to worry about that, because Red Sox fans are just so fucking weird. God love them.
Boston fans are so used to winning that the Patriots will carry the winning spirit for them, and they can suck for another decade and they'll be okay.
They have such a dedication to their shitty teams regardless, and the people in charge of the Red Sox are totally taking advantage of them for that, which is not the point I was trying to make originally, but yeah. If a player for the Red Sox opted out too, it'd be the exact same mode of like, yeah, it's because you don't want to win, and him being there has no bearing on anything, and he still gets paid to sit on his couch. And again, you're not going to win anything because the people in charge don't want to win. Why would he? Fuck you.
I would opt out 1,000% of any job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even podcasting.
He's waiting to drop my ass.
I'm so excited to be done. That's a lie. This is a pleasure.
This is a delightful time. All right, last sports story.
I'm kidding. What do you got?
This is a hockey story, so I would expect that you don't really know what's about to happen to you.
I don't know anything about hockey except that the one SNL skit they did about it was funny.
Let's do that hockey, as they say in hockey.
Let's do that hockey. As they say in hockey, let's do this hockey.
Okay, so I'm going to preface this by saying I don't have a lot of sympathy for the man we're about to talk about because he is, like, kind of on record racist.
Okay.
However, this is a nuanced discussion we're going to have here about things that are a little bigger than the individual, so just bear with me.
Okay.
Artemi Panarin is a Russian player in hockey. Mm-hmm. I don't know who he plays for. I actually have no idea who he plays for. It's not relevant to this. Maybe the Blackhawks or the Rangers or something. I don't know.
I know it's probably not the Caps or Penguins because you definitely know.
Let me Google that just for my sanity's sake. Oh, would you look at that? When I punched his name in, I Googled racist because I was trying to figure out my sources on that. He plays for the Rangers. He does play for the Rangers. Okay. He's a Russian hockey player.
Okay.
And the Russian part is very important to this. He had some, like, racist comments. Basically, in 2012, he was caught on video saying he'd never have sex with a black girl. That was what happened. That is not at all relevant to what I'm about to say, though. He was outwardly in support of the guy in Russia who just got arrested for talking about Putin.
Gotcha.
So I don't remember what the fuck the guy's name was, but there's some guy in Russia who, like, has been arrested, a journalist of some sort, for talking shit about Putin. And Panarin, a Russian hockey player, came out and said, that's fucking bullshit that, you know, we have no free press, which he's totally right about. Like,
yes.
I don't think he's a cool guy, I don't think he's a good dude, but he's absolutely right.
Russia does not have free press. This is a correct statement.
Yeah, like, it's shitty. And, like, 3 days later, out of Russia, this big article dropped about how he assaulted a woman. The consensus is generally, they totally and completely fabricated this in order to cause problems around him, so he would stop saying things about the Russian government.
Yowzers.
And I think people who are into woke issues in hockey are staying away from this because, again, he's a shitty guy. He's a bad dude. I don't like him at all. But this is a little bigger than him individually, I think.
Yeah, like, when it comes to, like, Russia and incorrect media and bad, like, yeah. we do need to kind of take a stance against it if you like democracy or you're anti-fascism. You kind of have to talk about this kind of stuff, even if it's someone you don't like discussing it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not excusing it, because, like, a lot of people are like, oh, he said that, you know, it was 2012, it's been 9 years now.
Yeah.
I don't want to dismiss that. I don't think that, like, we have to take that completely out of context to talk about this at all. He can be racist and still correct about the Russian government. Those things can coincide.
Like,
but yeah. It did, for the first time, that I hate the Washington Capitals. I'm going to come at this super biased, and I'm completely and totally owning up to my own bias before I make the next statement. Ovechkin's Putin's little puppet boy. His little puppet bitch boy. And he was finally trending for the reasons he should be trending after this happened, where it's like, man, someone should maybe tell him to come back against Russia, because Ovechkin's also, like, the greatest Russian player in the league right now. And if he were to say, to back this guy up, that would kind of really throw a fork in things. but he won't because,
Yeah.
as I said previously, little puppet bitch boy. I can't stand him. I hate him so much, and I wouldn't be calling him a bitch if I didn't, and I'm admitting to that. But he is also just like Putin's little right hand man, and like will not ever speak a bad word about him, and he should.
If you can't say Putin is bad, there's no hope for you.
Yeah. And like a lot of Russian players don't say anything. A lot of Russian players are very quiet. And I think people, if anyone gets into this, God forbid, I get some discourse about this as a Penguins fan. Malkin's a player who doesn't say anything. He's a Russian player that I like, and he just fucking keeps his little nose out of it. Ovechkin's very like, he's got pictures with him, and he hangs out with him, and they're like buddies, and it's gross. And there's a difference between staying neutral because your family lives there and you worry about them, and just actively being like, this is my homie Putin, and we're buddies.
Let me Google something, because I have a sports thing in relation to it.
Okay, cool, go for it.
Okay, so it's kind of similar to like the Max Schmeling situation, who was the German boxer who fought in the 30s against Joe Louis, who was a black man in America.
Yes, I know that name, yes.
Yeah, and Max Schmeling won the first fight, and then in 1938 he lost to Joe Louis. And Max Schmeling was like a big party guy in Germany in the 20s, and then
party like woohoo party or like politically, like party, right?
Woohoo, like hanging out with like communists and like chilling with Jewish people and minorities, like hanging out with like underground scenes like that. Then the Nazis came and started arresting all of his friends, but were providing him with a stable job, and he has pictures with Hitler and like pushed that narrative. But then during the Night of Broken Glass in Germany, he hid two Jewish children from Nazi police in his hotel room. Okay. And then after his fight with Joe Louis went into bankruptcy because sports stars a lot of times,
especially back in that time,
yeah, and he financially helped Joe Louis and like kept him afloat. And he's a very complex figure, and he's one of my like most interesting to read about.
You were going to say favorite, but not favorite, because favorite's a tricky word there, yeah.
I like reading about him. That's what my
sure.
Because he's very interesting. He's an individual who seems to have made a huge glaring mistake, but his actions seem to indicate a different type of person.
It's a situation with nuance, which is risky to talk about on the internet, I get you.
Yeah, and it seems like a very similar situation. I know I'm comparing Hitler to Vladimir Putin. However, I do feel like if Vladimir Putin could do a Holocaust, he would do a Holocaust.
Yeah, that's like not an outlandish thing. And like you weren't comparing the Holocaust specifically to anything, so I think it's fine. Like I didn't get into anywhere tricky.
They're both fucking fascists. Vladimir Putin is just unfortunately a more successful fascist in sticking around.
Yeah.
So like it's a very interesting situation. I feel like it's a very similar one with
yeah, definitely.
The hockey guy, Capitals dude, except that he isn't like protecting gay children in Russia.
Yeah, it's just one of those things when we really could, right now, if all the Russian hockey players, because that's really the only Russian stronghold in the U.S. I can think of is like all these hockey players. Like,
for sure,
I can't think of any other Russian figures that like a large group of people sees in the U.S. Does that make sense?
That is our introduction to Canadians and Russians.
And Russians, yeah. And there's so many Russians in hockey. They all decided right now to be like, yeah, you shouldn't arrest journalists for doing journalism. I feel like that could really fucking make some waves because they are under the protection of the U.S. here. Like, these guys are safe enough here.
It could do a lot in shaping American perspectives on Russia, which does have an opportunity to hopefully put a bit of pressure on the situation. Mm-hmm. Like, if no one talks about the dude getting arrested, Putin can do whatever the fuck he wants to him.
Exactly. If you have all these huge... Because these figures are not only huge here, but they're huge in Russia, too. Like, Russians love their hockey players here. And if they all decide collectively to do something, it could really, I think, do something bigger than them. But yeah, we spoke to Trevor Bauer previously. Russian hockey players, if you're listening to this, maybe stand up to Putin, because I don't think he's going to kill you in the U.S.
And please like and subscribe.
Yeah. And, like, I get the fear for, like, your family in Russia, but, like, I mean, I don't know.
This is a rough joke, but, like, if he does kill you in the United States, don't worry, he will personally investigate it.
Yes, don't worry.
He'll get to the bottom of it.
He'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Every time that happens, my dad goes, "Don't worry, Senor Putin's on the case. He's gonna figure out what happened."
He's gonna figure it out. It's like when the police investigate themselves here. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm really
I think that's the end of sports news we've got.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got just some information about the Equality Act. I think that's the actual name of it. Let me pull that up so I'm not just talking out my butt. Yeah, the Equality Act 2020.
I have no information about this. My other two stories are just really goofy shit that's happened that made me laugh this weekend. So let's go for something a little bit.
Yeah,
serious.
This is kind of important to us personally.
Yeah.
Because this would mean that the LGBT plus community would be included in the Civil Rights Act, which meant that people could not be discriminated due to sex, race, and religion. That would add on
sexual orientation.
Gender.
Yeah.
And being gay.
Yeah. Okay.
the fancy word.
Your gender identity and sexual orientation would also be added.
Yes.
Okay.
And this would mean, like, you couldn't be fired for being gay, which is something you can be fired for in Virginia still.
It's like, when places have the right to refuse service to people, it's like, accept these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we will be on that accept these things list.
Yes, that would mean the reasons why we get fired would be for things that make sense.
Yeah, and, like, we still live in, like, I don't remember the word, it's like a right to work state, so they can fire us for whatever we want, but, like, if you can prove that they fired you for this, you could then sue the fuck out of whatever company you work for.
Unfortunately,
it's still
a lot of these
tricky,
situations, like, you can still be like, "Oh, why'd you fire them?" Well, they were late twice. Like, it's really because they're gay. But, like, this is important because laws matter, because a lot of children see, like, oh, we can discriminate against these people. It's the same reason why you should allow people to use whatever bathroom they want in schools. Because if you don't, then you start having a weird situation where people can go, oh, I can bully this person now, because literally the school system's bullying them.
You give kids at a certain age an inch to, like, fuck with somebody, and they won't take a mile.
Yeah. Kids are gonna bully no matter what, but, like, we can limit the amount of bully.
Well, yeah, we can limit, like,
small.
It being based on, like, marginalized groups, not just dumb kids. Like, if you get bullied for reading a book, that's different than if you get bullied for being a homosexual.
Both things that happened to me.
Yeah, congratulations, Josh. You're 2 for 2.
Half of that bullying was warranted.
Yeah.
So this has actually a chance to pass, with Democrats controlling both the Senate and the House and the White House. The big conversation going on now is that some Republicans believe that this is the biggest crisis for Christians ever. So the argument is that it is their religious right to discriminate against gay people. This is very similar to the baker. I don't know if you guys remember.
I sure do. I think everybody does.
Yeah, where the gay couple was like, we want you to make our wedding cake. And he was like, you're gay, so no. Because I'd be participating in gay marriage. I would then be gay married. Which is dumb.
And everyone's favorite argument for this, that I've seen at least, is, well, if someone's homophobic, why would you want them to do this shit for you anyway? And because I shouldn't have to fucking weed out homophobes in my wedding planning as, like, part of the requirements. Like, if you're homophobic and I ask you to put some flowers together for my wedding, I don't ever have to fucking know that about you. You can just do it and send them to my wedding, and that can be the end of it.
Well, it's very similar to, like, the reason we had to pass laws saying you couldn't discriminate in the South was because black people didn't have an option. There wasn't a bar that allowed black and white people to both go there.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to... It's more extreme with the racial divide, because
Obviously,
you also
yeah.
have to add in like discrimination that comes through like financial reasons, where white people have been able to have a leg up in that opportunity, so they own most of the
Yes,
organizations.
this isn't as bad as discriminate or as segregation. We're not saying that at all. It's just a similar sort of set of laws. It is the
Yeah,
exact same law, just applying to someone else.
yeah.
That's why this comes up.
This is a more specific battle. This is not as like wide reaching as segregation was by any means.
Yeah, the only reason we have like it makes sense to bring that up is because it is literally the exact same law that was used, so it makes sense to
Yeah,
like have that as
it's building off of the Civil Rights Act of '64, and the argument is that like they want to be able to discriminate against gay people, and this seems like such a fucking slam dunk. Like, no,
yeah.
like
It's 2021. No.
most people are okay with gay marriage.
Yeah.
So, like, don't let the 20 or 30% make life worse for the rest of us.
To quote every Republican I know, yeah, I don't care, it doesn't really affect me. Like, very few Republicans are really into, like, the ruining the sanctity of marriage, because every Republican I know is in an unhappy marriage already.
Or has a divorce or two under their belt.
Yeah.
It does fascinate me, and I know I bring up my dad a lot with politics because he has very fun takes.
Your dad's an interesting character.
It made him so mad, that whole Baker situation, and I was a little nervous because he's a pastor, and a Southern Baptist one at that. And he looked at me and went, "This is outrageous." And I'm like, "Yeah?" And he's like, "It's his job to be a baker. You do your job. He should have made that cake."
That's so your dad.
I'm like,
yeah.
yep, good one, Dad. We got there. He's like, "You do your job."
He's got a point. Get your fucking job done.
Yeah, make that fucking cake. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. And some people try to make the argument of like, oh, well, there are all these people that were like kicked out of restaurants for being a Republican. Well, it's like, yeah, you choose to be a Republican.
Yeah, a little bit. This is maybe not the best argument to use for this, because there are some gay people where you don't know they're gay, but, like, if you come into the restaurant and you just don't be a jackass, no one's gonna know you're a Republican. Like, meanwhile, if me and the transgenders go out and we go to the restaurant, you know
me and the gays at brunch.
Yeah, like, you know. And sometimes gay people you don't know, but, again, like, no one has to know that you're a Republican. That doesn't have to come up. And I don't think it's the being a Republican part, because if you came into my restaurant and you're like, man, I think taxes should be lower and government should be smaller, I'm not going to kick you out of my restaurant. If you come into my restaurant and you go, man, I sure do hate minorities, that is when I will be like, you have to leave now, sir. It's not the Republican part.
It's all of this, like social war stuff. Like, the fighting society, the Republican bullshit that you always see. Because no one gets kicked off for putting Republican ideas. They get kicked off for putting fucking racist ideas.
Yeah.
Or sexist ideas. Like,
if the fucking Mandalorian bitch had just said, I like small government, she'd still have a job. It's when she thought she was as oppressed as Jews in the Holocaust. That's when we had issues.
Yeah, that's all I got on it. If you have a congressperson who is a centrist, call them.
Yeah. I don't like to tell people to call their congresspeople, because your congresspeople don't care about you, but, like, maybe this time.
You could annoy a couple Democrats and, like, 2 Republicans, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's gay marriage, and, like, Republicans are trying to pretend that they're not... They like to pretend they like the gays, but just not the trans.
Yes.
And hopefully we can convince them enough that, like, we can help protect the entire group there.
The entire community through, like, one weird route. Yeah.
Yeah. Because my trans rights only bill is still fucking gumming up the works.
Oh, I'm just a bill.
I'm only a bill that wants to make trans people the only people that can vote.
And on that note, as Schoolhouse Rock has just sent us a takedown notice, let's talk about the Metallica on Twitch thing. Because, okay, I'm having a field day today, because this is, like, the third thing I've got to talk about that I hate personally. I don't like Metallica. I think I know, was it this podcast or the last one? I can't remember. It was the last one, I'm sorry. I made a joke that, like, I'm peak dad because I was filling out football stat charts earlier today while listening to Pink Floyd.
Mhm.
But Metallica's ass, man. Metallica's so bad.
I couldn't for $5 billion tell you the difference between Pink Floyd, Metallica, and I almost said ADHD. What's the other one? What's it fucking called?
That's
ACDC.
that's my cold open. Oh, that's good.
I have never heard a Who song before we watched Tommy. I don't know anything about these old men.
So Metallica, I don't know if you know. I mean, did you see the discourse about this at all?
I saw the video, and
So
it
you
was
don't know why it's particularly funny though.
No, I just thought Twitch was having a rough day.
Metallica is the reason. Metallica specifically, the band, specifically Lars from Metallica, the drummer, is the reason that copyright laws around music are as strict as the way they are.
Are you fucking serious?
They were the Metallica, and I think the year like 2000. It was when Napster blew up.
Okay.
So it was probably a little bit later than that actually. I don't know the year, but Metallica was the one that sued Napster because they're reproducing their music without making any money off of it. And they are the reason why it's so hard to use copywritten music in anything now. And
Yeah,
they
like,
are
you can...
directly responsible for Twitch not being able to play their own music in their own concert.
That's so much better than I thought it was.
It was because I saw it first, I'm like, that's funny. And then someone was like, I think Matt texted me, was like, it's funnier than you think. And
Your
like,
friend.
oh. Yeah, my buddy. Yeah.
That dude you know. My mutual on Twitter.
My acquaintance Matthew. My homosexual partner Matthew. Yeah. Pointed this out to me.
Joke.
It's a good joke. So yeah, it's just entirely their own fault, which is really funny. And like, he also sent me this really great video of Dave Grohl, who I don't have a ton of strong opinions on him. Like, I think the Foo Fighters suck. I think Nirvana was good. I think he's kind of cute sometimes. That's my like official Dave Grohl takes.
I like that he sent that girl a guitar.
Yeah, like he's like no nice guy on the internet and generally likable figure. Dave Grohl was like, yeah, I don't care if people listen to my shit for free because I don't need any more money and I sell out arenas. And his whole point was like, if this was a band that wasn't Metallica doing this was back in 2000, whatever when this was happening, by the way, so this is older. If this was like your little band, and like you genuinely were losing tons of money somehow because of this, which doesn't make any sense because if your band is that small, no one's streaming the fuck out of you on Napster. No one knows who you are.
This would be way more like if like someone like I don't know that was trying to make like a song about like and they were Vanilla Ice and they just used an entire like chorus of your song in their song.
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's
that
like
would
some
be
things
like
make sense for this, but this was not one of them.
No, playing a couple seconds of another song. Like if you are on YouTube and you play like I think it's more than 7 seconds of a song, you no longer own your video.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because that makes sense.
Because like if I wanted to like for whatever reason make a joke about a song, and like wanted to like or like if I was on like a long stream, if I was a streamer and like I just wanted to put on a song, I can't. Like it's very strict and weird, and again, Metallica's not losing, or any band is not losing money at that point. And the biggest bullshit of it all is what was it replaced by? Spotify, where artists make 1/18 of a cent for every 100 streams. So, like, congratulations, Lars. Do you feel better? Like, fuck you.
You know what's really funny about, like, bands specifically like Metallica? Because there's a lot of people in our age group that I think would relate to me and go, I know it's a band.
Yeah, oh yeah, Metallica's definitely, like, before our time, I would say. Unless you go to tech, in which case, fuck you for going to tech.
But, like, if you, like, they could use a bump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if they got, like, a fucking cool TikTok dance to some Metallica songs, that's a couple extra mil in the bank. Easy.
And that's an interesting thing where, like, TikTok songs are so often by smaller artists.
Fucking
Because
Lil Nas X is living off of it, and I respect it.
Because, again, if you pulled a really popular song into your TikTok video, they can, if someone wanted to, send you a fucking notice and cut you down. But what happens to these songs that get played on TikTok for no views? They blow up. They blow Doja Cat owes her fucking career to TikTok. Are you kidding me?
If you don't think this is real, fucking watch any of Justin Bieber's TikToks where he begs his fans to do a TikTok dance about that song about his wife's vagina being delicious.
Yeah, like people are making songs specifically for the purpose of TikTok dances being created to them. I don't know. We're younger people, but it is 2021. We were kind of born after the age of the CD. We were iPod kids. We all had like little iPod shuffles and iPod Nanos, and you had to pay for songs. But now, no one pays for music directly anymore, and for some reason, Ariana Grande still makes money every year. Like, it's almost like it didn't need to be this way. Lars from Metallica.
The thing is, he's just keeping himself from being able to participate in the way music makes money now.
Yeah.
Because though everyone above the age of, 30 knows who he is, maybe 40, but, I don't fucking know I don't know who he is!
No, it's like, I just don't like Metallica music, which is the only reason I have a take, is because I don't like them. But it's so, they could absolutely use, something in this new age to make them, I don't want to say relevant, because Metallica's not irrelevant. They were too big of a thing at one point to ever, I think, be considered irrelevant. It's like saying the fucking Rolling Stones are irrelevant now. It's like, they were too big to ever say, no, they don't matter now, kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, the kids don't care.
No. I feel like we might have to do a new segment where I ask you questions about old bands and you make fun of me. Because I almost said a very dumb thing as a question, and I'm going to for content. Were they Stairway to Heaven?
No. Okay. No, that was good old Led Zeppelin. Speaking of Led Zeppelin,
Zeppelin.
Happy anniversary to the fucking worst Led Zeppelin song. Happy fucking birthday, Kashmir. We'd be better off without you.
Which one was the dude with the sex tape?
What?
Wasn't there a blonde dude?
Yeah, it's Paris Hilton.
Yep, that's him.
Are you, what? I don't even know what you're talking. Was it a hair metal guy?
Yeah.
I won't know then.
Because he's blonde and got glasses, sunglasses always, and blonde, and he sings or plays a guitar or both.
Oh, John, I mean, I truly, if it was a hair metal guy, I don't know, because I don't like metal. I'm not a metal guy. Yeah. That's why I'm sitting here talking about how I don't like Metallica. It's because I'm not a metal guy.
Yeah, your friend is really into.
Yeah, my buddy Matthew. I'll get him on the horn.
I'm gonna tweet him after this is over.
You should. You totally should.
Oh my god.
Hi, Matt, one of the 5 people who listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Hi, our significant others and no one else. I don't even think Bailey listens to these. I don't blame her.
Yeah, good for her.
She's busy. She's a life.
So yeah, Metallica shot themselves in the foot, and it's very funny. And I think even if you like them, you have to kind of admit this is hysterical. Because what they were fighting for, in theory, isn't, evil. I think it's misguided, and I think it went entirely too far. I think that's where we're at now, where it's just, the repercussions of your actions sometimes go much farther than you intend. And then you're doing a concert on a streaming platform, and you get censored for playing your own music, because you've just fucked yourself over somewhere. That your
actions have consequences! We were not in sync with that one.
That's okay.
That band I know.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. I was raised on Christian and country music, which is not far from each other.
Oh, man. Do you know International Harvester? All the words?
Unfortunately, I don't. I do know all of the lines to She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy.
Oh, that's so great. God, Miss Walker, if you're listening to this, which I hope to God you aren't, I'm sorry we all broke into your pod. Teachers didn't have offices at our school, they had pods. We all broke into your pod and sang International Harvester to you. And Big Green Tractor. We sang both of them. God love her, she was the best. Alright, last thing I have to talk about today. And boy oh boy, is it interesting. Megan Fox, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Oh
we
my
just
god,
we
y'all.
just had to talk about how we abuse 2000s girls and like build them up to break them down. And then you do this to Megan Fox. In the wake of the Britney documentary, you do this to Megan Fox.
Britney's body is not cold in the ground.
Oh my god. Do you want to explain this one? I feel like I've talked a lot.
I don't know this one as well as you do.
This is a simple one. Megan Fox is not an anti-masker, but someone decided to Photoshop a picture of her into an airport with Machine Gun Kelly without wearing a mask, and then Photoshop some sort of weird fake apology that says, yeah, I choose not to wear a mask, I trust God to keep me and my family safe, and then Photoshop both of those things onto her Twitter page, or not Twitter page, I'm sorry, her Instagram account, as Instagram posts from her, and then take screenshots of that and put them on Twitter as an attempt to fucking... I don't know why anyone would do that.
She's fucking funny. Like,
she's not an anti-masker.
She's fucking fine.
Like, she's just such a neutral figure. Like, yeah. And, like, I think Machine Gun Kelly sucks at making music, but, like, I don't want to go on the internet and lie about him.
No. Like, this, like, not to be this dude, but it's a bit of a serious thing. Anti-maskers are a real threat to our society.
Like, collective well-being, yeah.
Yeah. The employee collective.
The employee collective is in danger, Megan. I could not believe, because I saw it, and was like, damn, I can't believe I had to cancel Megan Fox. Like, after we spent all these years kind of feeling bad for the way we treated her after Transformers and everything. And we don't. Someone just decided, someone woke up and chose violence in a way that I've never before experienced.
Because if they had done this with, I don't know, Trevor Bauer, or, like Thomas Brady.
Yeah, someone who'd be really funny.
Yeah, or, like, fucking Tim Allen.
See, the issue with those three guys is you actually don't have to Photoshop it. That's just how they are.
No. How the fuck did the Mandalorian lady get fired for saying the exact same thing Tim Allen did, and he was in another Toy Story? You know what, maybe she's right. Disney's sexist.
Did you see... this is so off topic, but I feel like it's kind of funny. The Tim Allen sitcom. Did you see the discourse?
Is this the one where he met himself?
No, I don't think so.
Do you not know about that, then?
I don't know what you're talking about. Let me finish my story, then we can talk about whatever else you're talking about.
I'm very excited.
Tim Allen has his, like, little Republican sitcom that runs on, like, I don't know, Channel 5 or whatever?
Yeah,
like,
Last Man Standing or something?
Yeah. And, like, the whole point is that, like, this is the sitcom for your Republican dad. Like, Tim Allen's a Republican, he makes Republican jokes, it kind of toes the line between is this okay or not, and that's what people like it. But they had, like, I don't know whose decision this was, but they had, like, a Black Lives Matter episode. And fans were upset.
What was the show's opinion?
They, like, did a thing where, like, I didn't watch it, obviously. I just saw people freaking out on Twitter. Where I guess, like, a cop was wrong about something and, like, had to acknowledge, like, issues within the police force as a whole and, like, systemic issues with the police in Tim Allen's Republican sitcom.
Huh.
Listen, they're right, but know your audience.
Yeah, I'm happy they did that. But, like, I am not surprised. What made you think... You know whose fucking opinion we need to hear about systemic racism? Fucking the tool man himself. That's a perfect segue into this. They met.
Huh?
There was an episode where Tim the Toolman Taylor met Tim Allen's character in Last Man Standing.
Oh, they did a crossover. Okay, I understand now.
They did a crossover. What does that mean? Does that mean, like, did they fuck?
That's exactly what it means. I'm not sure how you drew that conclusion, but that's exactly what it means.
Because, like, if I met my clone, that's just, at that point, it's just masturbation.
Would you fuck your clone, Josh?
It's just masturbation, yes. He knows what I like.
Good gravy.
Well, it'd be rough, because we'd both try to bottom. really hope my girlfriend doesn't listen to this one.
For the sake of anybody, God forbid, watching this, I'm looking at the timer now. We've been on the phone for almost 3 hours.
Oh, I've missed you, bud.
Yeah, because I'm, like, trapped in Harrisonburg, and there's a pandemic. A lot happening.
I'm not visiting you in Harrisonburg even when there's not a pandemic.
Harrisonburg's nice. Harrisonburg... I love it. I hate it. I can't wait to get out of here. I'm gonna miss it. It's complicated. That's all I've got for today. You got anything else you want to talk about?
That's really it. Just whether or not it's masturbation if you fuck your clone. That's really the main point that I wanted to get through here. At this point, we do need to just name the podcast. I know this is a bit off topic, but because
that's too long. That's too long, Josh.
Yeah, broken news. Why not?
And like usually when we change the subject, it is news at least. Like that also happened this week. Was Tim Allen's little fans got mad. So yeah, in conclusion, leave Megan Fox alone. Don't leave Trevor Bauer alone. And Lars, you had it coming, you bitch. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.